There are moments in sports when victory means far more than a medal. There are moments when an athlete becomes a symbol of an entire nation. For Japan, one of those moments arrived through the incredible journey of two figure skaters who changed history forever, Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara. Today, their names are recognized by skating fans around the world. They are Olympic champions, world champions, and pioneers who transformed the future of Japanese pair skating. But their story is not just about winning competitions. It is about representing Japan with pride, overcoming impossible odds, and proving that dedication can elevate an entire country onto the global stage. For decades, Japan was known as a powerhouse in singles figure skating. The nation produced legendary athletes who thrilled audiences with their artistry and technical brilliance. However, pair skating was a completely different story. While countries like Russia, Canada, China, and Germany regularly dominated pair competitions, Japan struggled to establish itself in the discipline. Many experts believe Japan simply did not have the tradition, infrastructure, or development system necessary to compete with the world's elite pair teams. International commentators rarely mention Japanese pairs when discussing medal contenders. For years, the dream of seeing a Japanese pair standing on top of the podium seemed distant. Then everything began to change. Long before they became world-famous, both Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara faced challenges that could have ended their careers. Neither of them grew up expecting to become Olympic champions together. Their paths were different, their struggles were different, and their futures were uncertain. Riku Miura showed talent from a young age. She possessed determination, natural athleticism, and a willingness to learn. Yet pair skating demanded skills that many skaters find terrifying. Lifts, throws, and twists require complete trust between partners. One mistake can result in serious injury. At times, the physical and mental demands seemed overwhelming. Ryuichi Kihara's journey was equally challenging. Before becoming one of the world's best pair skaters, he experienced setbacks, disappointments, and moments when his future in the sport appeared unclear. He switched disciplines, adapted to new challenges, and continued chasing a dream that many believed was impossible. Neither athlete knew that destiny would eventually bring them together. In 2019, a crucial opportunity arrived. The Japanese skating community was searching for ways to strengthen its presence in pair skating. A partnership trial was organized, and it became the beginning of a remarkable chapter in sports history. When Miura and Kihara first started skating together, nobody could have predicted what would happen next. They were talented, but they were also entering one of the most demanding disciplines in sports. Building a successful pair requires much more than technical skill. It requires trust, communication, patience, and a shared vision. The first practices were filled with learning experiences. Every lift, every throw, every transition required precision. Pair skating is unique because success depends on two people moving as one. If either skater hesitates for even a fraction of a second, the entire element can fail. What stood out immediately was their willingness to work. They approached training with humility and determination. Instead of focusing on how far they still had to go, they concentrated on improving every day. Soon, they made a bold decision that would shape their future. To compete against the world's best teams, they relocated to Canada. Leaving Japan was not easy. They moved away from family, familiar surroundings, and many comforts of home. They entered an environment where they would train alongside elite athletes and push themselves harder than ever before. Life in Canada was not glamorous. While fans today see gold medals and celebrations, the reality behind the scenes was far different. There were early mornings, exhausting practices, physical pain, and constant pressure. There were days when progress felt slow. There were moments of frustration when elements refused to cooperate. There were injuries, setbacks, and obstacles that tested their commitment. Yet through it all, they continued moving forward. What made Miura and Kihara special was not just their talent. It was their resilience. Every successful pair team develops a unique identity. Some teams are known for power. Others are known for artistry. Miura and Kihara became known for something equally important: trust. When audiences watched them skate, they could see a genuine connection. Their movements appeared natural. Their timing seemed effortless. Their performances conveyed emotion that reached far beyond technical scores. International judges noticed. Fans noticed. Commentators noticed. Gradually, results began improving. Then came a breakthrough that changed everything. they started earning medals in major competitions, the skating world realized that Japan was no longer merely participating in pair skating. Japan was becoming a contender. Every competition became an opportunity to showcase Japanese excellence. Every clean performance challenged old assumptions about what Japanese pair skaters could achieve. Their victories carried significance far beyond personal success. Young skaters across Japan began paying attention. Coaches began seeing new possibilities. The entire country's perspective on pair skating started to evolve. Then came another historic milestone. Miura and Kihara became the first Japanese pair team to achieve accomplishments that previous generations could only dream about. Their success demonstrated that Japan could compete with traditional powerhouses and win. For Japanese sports fans, watching them succeed created immense pride. For aspiring skaters, it created hope. For the international skating community, it created respect. What made their rise even more impressive was the manner in which they carried themselves. Despite growing fame, they remained humble and professional. They consistently represented Japan with dignity and class. Whether speaking to reporters, interacting with fans, or competing under pressure, they displayed qualities that reflected positively on their country. Athletes often become unofficial ambassadors for their nations. Miura and Kihara embraced that responsibility. As their careers progressed, they continued setting records and breaking barriers. They reached levels previously unimaginable for Japanese pair skating, yet their greatest challenge still awaited. The Olympic Games represent the pinnacle of athletic competition. Millions of people around the world watch as athletes pursue lifelong dreams. For many competitors, simply reaching the Olympics is an achievement. Winning a medal is extraordinary. Winning gold is legendary. Miura and Kihara understood the magnitude of the opportunity before them. Years of sacrifice had prepared them for this moment. Every difficult training session, every injury, every setback, every lonely day far from home, everything had led here. When they stepped onto Olympic ice, they were carrying more than their own ambitions. They were carrying the hopes of a nation. The pressure was enormous, but champions often reveal themselves in moments of greatest pressure. As their program unfolded, they displayed the qualities that had defined their partnership from the beginning. Precision, trust, determination, grace, element after element they delivered. The audience watched in amazement. Commentators struggled to contain their excitement. Fans across Japan followed every second. When the performance ended, emotions overflowed. Years of work had culminated in one unforgettable moment. The scores confirmed what many had witnessed with their own eyes. History had been made. For the first time, a Japanese pair team stood at the summit of Olympic figure skating. It was not simply a victory for two athletes. It was a victory for Japanese sports. It was a victory for every coach who believed in them. It was a victory for every young skater who dreamed of achieving something impossible. Most importantly, it was a moment that elevated Japan's name on the global stage. Around the world, newspapers celebrated the achievement. Television networks highlighted the historic accomplishment. Sports analysts praised the remarkable journey. The message was clear. Japan had arrived as a major force in pair skating, yet one of the most inspiring aspects of their story is what happened after success arrived. Many athletes struggle to handle fame. Some lose motivation after achieving their goals. Miura and Kihara chose a different path. They continued inspiring others. They continued representing Japan proudly. They continued showing gratitude towards supporters. They continued demonstrating the values that helped them reach the top. Their influence extended beyond competition results. Young skaters began entering pair skating programs with renewed enthusiasm. Coaches gained confidence in developing future teams. The pathway that once seemed impossible suddenly appeared achievable. That is the true legacy of pioneers. They do not merely succeed themselves, they make success possible for those who follow. Throughout Japanese sports history, certain athletes have changed the direction of their disciplines. Miura and Kihara belong in that conversation. Before them, pair skating in Japan faced significant limitations. After them, the future looks entirely different. Future generations will grow up knowing that Japanese athletes can become Olympic champions in pair skating because Miura and Kihara already proved it. That belief is powerful. That belief changes everything. Their story also demonstrates an important lesson about national pride. Raising a country's name does not happen through words alone. It happens through actions. It happens through dedication. It happens through perseverance during difficult times. It happens when athletes represent their nation with integrity. Miura and Kihara accomplished all of those things. When people around the world hear their names, they think about excellence, they think about courage, they think about teamwork. And increasingly, they think about Japan. That is why their achievement matters so much. They did not simply win medals, they changed perceptions, they expanded possibilities, they inspired millions. Most importantly, they brought honor to their country. Years from now, fans will still remember the performances, the medals, and the historic victories. But perhaps the most enduring memory will be how two determined athletes showed the world what Japanese dedication looks like. From uncertain beginnings to Olympic glory, from overlooked contenders to world champions, the journey of Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara stands as one of the greatest success stories in modern figure skating. Their names are now permanently written into sports history. Their legacy continues to inspire future generations, and their remarkable journey will forever be remembered as the story of two skaters who raised the name of Japan to heights never seen before in pair skating. Through talent, sacrifice, resilience, and unwavering belief, Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara achieved something extraordinary. They proved that no dream is too big, no challenge is too difficult, and no barrier is impossible to break when passion meets determination. For Japan, they became more than champions. They became symbols of national pride. And for the world, they became living proof that history belongs to those brave enough to create it.